Howard Berg holds the Guinness World Record for reading 80 pages a minute and remembering what he read. From the projects of Brooklyn to training special forces and teaching people to learn 4 times faster, Howard's mission is to make the world smarter, one reader at a time. This episode of the Rebel Rebel is brought to you by my book, BrandJitsu. All right, forget brand theory. This is branding that punches above its weight. After 25 years helping artists, entrepreneurs, and businesses stand out, I wrote BrandJitsu. Move your brand from meh to memorable. It's the real stuff, story, strategy, and sharp positioning that makes people pay attention. Find it at your favorite bookstore or online at brandjitsu.com. Welcome to the Rebel Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargy, and somewhere around the world, I'm really excited to introduce you to Howard Berg. Howard, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Living my best life, and it's about to get a whole lot better. Hey, Howard, where are you right now in the world?
I'm in Central Florida. I'm about an hour and 20 minutes west of Disney and an hour and 20 minutes east of Tampa.
Okay.
So when there's a hurricane, you come here.
You're the safe ground.
This is the safe spot. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I see if people are listening, you're not going to see this, so you probably should go to YouTube and see it yourself. But there's a whole lot of books behind you on the shelf. Can you sort of catch us up a little bit about, who Howard Berg is and what that's all about?
I'm the world's fastest reader. I was listening to 1990 Guinness Record book for 80 pages a minute, and all that time, no one's ever replaced my reading claim.
80 pages a minute? I don't even think I could flip them that fast. How is that even possible?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, yeah, all right. No spoilers. No spoilers. All right,
that's the topic.
I'm like, see, I told you I had questions. 80 pages a minute? What the hell? Yeah. Okay, all right. I'm just going to relax for a second. Okay, so Howard, how on earth did you get here? Like, how did that happen? Can we go back in time and figure that out?
I wanted to be the world's sexiest man, but that didn't work out. But I'll give you the actual.
There's still time.
I grew up in the projects in Brooklyn, and it was like West Side Story without the music and dancing. Oh. I met Bernardo. He had a knife and he wasn't smiling, and that actually did happen. Oh, no. I was mugged 100 times. My dad was pistol whipped. It was a very difficult place to grow up. And I found the safest place in my neighborhood was the library. The gang kids would rather be dead than caught in the library. They never went there.
Perfect.
I think that's still true. I mean, if you're in a Barnes and Nobles, you don't think, gang kids will be here any minute. It's just not the typical hangout. But I read well. I was reading college level when I was 11. And I went to the State University of New York, Binghamton, which is a top-rated public college. It's the number one in the Northeast, I was told, for public colleges. And I majored in biology. And in my senior year, I got interested the end of my junior year, I got interested in learning and the brain. And I told the dean I wanted to major in psychology also. And he said, well, you only have 1 year left and you haven't had a single psych course. You'll have to do the whole 4-year program in 1 year and finish the bio program at the same time. What? You'll need to take 6 science courses, 2 4-hour labs. And I had 3 jobs. I was working 18 hours a week part-time. And he looked at me and said, you're not smart enough. And that's when I realized they never taught us how to learn in school. They tell you what to learn and why to learn and what will happen when you don't learn, but not while you hear a song once on the radio, you never forget it. And you read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the next day you don't know a single habit. I said, there's got to be a way to learn things that matter, like we learned the songs. So I got up to 80 pages a minute. I did the psych program in 1 year. I took the GRE, which is an SAT for grad school, in biology. So the review, I went through 48 books in 3 nights, like biochemistry, genetics, cell physiology, not light reading, because people say maybe you're reading a comic book. And I got 3 questions wrong. So I got an 800. I was in the 99th percentile. So
Holy
when
hell.
people say, do you remember anything? A GRE is a pretty good measurement of learning.
Yeah.
And then I started a school, and my 11-year-old students started college and getting A's in a week on AP tests. They were able to write 28-page MLA cited reports at 11 at the graduate level. So it turned out it wasn't just that I could do it, but I could teach it. And I taught the Royal Army in Thailand and the U.S. Special Forces in Bangkok. And I've been all over the world doing this. So it's
Hmm.
not just that I do it, but I can teach others how it's done. And that's probably what we'll spend a lot of time on today is how do you do it and why would you want to do it and things like that. But that's my backstory.
Oh my goodness. Well, I love it. I mean, I want people to sign up for your program, and
Me too.
yeah. So I don't want to give too much away. This show is about creative rebels and entrepreneurs, so it is what you do, but it's also about you, the person, and what makes a Howard Berg go round.
Well, there's one more thing. So after
Yeah.
college, I got interested in like the meaning of life. So I became a yogi, and I lived in an ashram on weekends. And so my motivation really is to try to make a better world through knowledge. When you read the news, do you think the biggest problem is there's too many smart people making too many good decisions? I haven't heard anyone say that's the number one problem in our world today. And I feel like I have a responsibility. If I can double to quadruple a normal person in 4 hours, and I did a double blind study with 100 random people, and everyone doubled or quadrupled in 4 hours with good comprehension and retention. Well, that can make a difference. People can make better choices and better decisions, and they can solve problems I can't even begin to solve. But I could be the grease that gets them to the objective that they had by empowering them to learn the facts that they never would have had time or ability to learn and retain. And that's really why I do it.
Amazing. Well, thank you. Um, just because we're here right now, where can people find out about this course?
If they go to howiereading.live, it's a monthly class, it's 4 hours.
Yeah.
I guarantee they'll read at least 100% faster with excellent comprehension and retention. And if they don't, I give them a refund.
Wow.
So I feel you shouldn't have to pay for something you didn't get.
Yeah.
And so I make sure they get it because I don't want to give them a refund. And I'd like them to learn the skill because that's really the reason they came. And that's why I taught it. So
yeah.
I have very, very, very few refunds because I just can pretty much, if you can read normal. I mean, I can't teach someone who doesn't speak English to read 100% faster in a language they don't speak.
Yeah,
but,
understood.
But I can do it in the language they do speak.
Okay. Okay, so is it language agnostic?
I've taught people who speak German and French and Spanish and Asian languages. As long as they understand what I'm teaching them in English, they can go and apply it to whatever other language it is they actually do speak.
Good Lord. Okay, well, I mean, I have to ask, and I don't want, and again, I don't want to look under the kilt all the way. I just want to, just.
I don't think you'd like what you see.
just a little bit, just a little bit. Is this? Is it a scanning process? Is it like can you just explain just a small
I could actually do better. I could get them started. I could in the next 90 seconds get them 40% faster right now.
What? Okay.
Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in.
After the show, not right now, but after the show, pick a book. And the idea here is a book you already understand. So the only thing that would confuse you is your speed, not the book. So if it's a book you'd read now and say, I don't know what I just read, that's the wrong book. Books to avoid for most people are quantum physics, existentialist philosophy, and organic chemistry. If you're having trouble understanding it, that's because it's really confusing to normal people. But since you already know the book, maybe you read it already, Here's what you do. Get a timer, use your phone or your smartwatch. Read for 1 minute, normal, nothing special. And then when you're done, take a pencil or a pen, that's your book, put a little mark in the margin and it says, that's how far I read in a minute. So you did an assessment. Now the magic. Go to the second chapter. You did that in the first chapter.
Yeah.
Now go to the second chapter. Take your hand and go across one line at a time with your eyes following your hand. And the key is don't stop moving. Go as fast as you could comprehend. So as long as you know what you're reading, go quicker and quicker and quicker till you don't. And since it's something you understand, the only reason you don't know what you're reading, you went too fast. So slow down just enough so the comprehension comes back. And then for 5 minutes, go as fast as you can, one line at a time. Now go back to the first chapter where you tested your ability to read and read for another minute with your hand, going as quickly as you could comprehend. And that little mark that you wrote in the first minute, you'll pass by 20 to 40% with the same comprehension in the second test because you used your hand. And that's the first step. But it's enough for people to see this worked because it did work. They actually saw it work. Instead of me telling you it'll work, you're seeing it work. That's a much better way to teach people that you can actually help them because they experience it.
Wow. And is that a matter of just helping your eye track the...
There's a lot of things.
Okay.
Some of the problems are visual regression. So people read the dog, the dog ate, the dog ate, the dog ate the bone. So they keep reading the same thing. That's a common problem. Another one is it was interesting. So you read it again. You read it. Reading it again, it hasn't changed. So keeping your eye moving like a conductor keeps the orchestra moving along at the right pace. And of course, when we're learning, there are other skills that we would bring in. I don't believe speed reading works. Speed learning works. So how I do it is I use reading to find what I don't understand and need to learn. And then I use study skills to make the confusing information, like the calculus or the organic chemistry, make sense. Because reading it didn't work. You read the calc book and failed because you didn't know how to solve a problem. You knew all the equations, but you didn't know what to do with them. And that's why you failed, because you had no idea what to do with the information. So it isn't just reading and remembering. You have to understand what it is, how it works, and then remember it when you need it. And this is another magic trick, staying in the right emotional state so you don't get nervous speaking in public or taking an exam, so your mindset is in the right place. That's what I trained the Royal Thai Army and the U.S. Special Forces. They get good training. But if they panic when they're getting shot at and they don't remember what they taught them, they could die. So I'm showing them, how do you keep your mind where it needs to be and not where it's wandering off, that's sabotaging all the hard work you did. So EQ skills. So when you combine reading quickly, 100% or more, comprehending skills for understanding even very, very technical data like genetics and chemistry, how to remember it when you need to know it, and how to be in the right mindset to use it when it's necessary. Now you got a system that can really make a difference in your life, and not just you read the book yesterday fast and today you don't know the name of the book and anything you read, which is totally useless.
That feels like I feel very seen right now, Howard.
But I could show you more skills if you'd like.
Yeah, well, I want to save that for the class I'm going to take with you, and I want the other I want the other people who are listening to be like, holy hell, because we're going to go and try this as soon as we're done this show. I'm going to do it as soon as people are done listening to it.
It's actually live, so you can't try it right now, but I will teach it live. It's not a recording.
Yeah.
It's me. So you can ask questions.
Love it.
Because I believe a lot of these programs, they're recorded and then you don't know who to ask when you didn't understand something. Yeah. So I make sure when I'm done, tell me if there's anything you're not sure of or you're not clear on, tell me. I'll tell you what to clear it up now so you don't have a problem. That's what a teacher should do, not just take your money and run away after they did their thing.
Yeah, right on. So if you could, like, I'm curious about how so you had this year of school in front of you that must have been very daunting.
It
And
wasn't fun.
yeah. And I want to say, I mean, you sort of brute forced the problem in a way. And is that how you came up with this thing? Like you just,
Yes.
you're
Yeah,
just
because
making yourself focus.
I was studying how the brain works. I took the psychophysiology,
Yeah.
learning, motivate. I'm saying they're making smart rats, they're making smart goldfish, they're making smart monkeys. Why don't they teach this to people? This would actually make people smart, and nobody was doing it. So I said, and when I got out of school, I realized how many employed psychobiologists have you met in your life? Now, there's a reason. And so I found out there were no jobs. So I was like, great, I got a degree in an area where there's zero employment. Actually, there were 2 positions for every 1,000 PhDs, which didn't sound like good numbers to me. 500 to 1 against getting a position. So I'll create my own niche. I'll use what I learned and develop programs to empower people to use brain-based research in business and life.
Yeah.
And so instead of making monkeys smarter and goldfish and rats, I make people smarter and use the information that I learned on my own experience and applied it to people problems.
I love it, Howard. That's so cool. But what is something that you like to do for you?
I swim. I was actually a swimming teacher for 18 years for the Red Cross at night. And I'm 76 and
Yeah.
I'm still doing a half a mile in 38 minutes, which isn't bad for my age.
Wow.
I could go further, but I have arthritis in my shoulders and I would injure them.
Yeah.
So rather than, then I wouldn't be able to swim at all. So I had to make you make moderations. Like I lift weights and I do it 3 times a week, but I lowered the weight as I got older and did more reps because that's the way the body ages. But you do what you can do instead of feeling bad about the changes. Changes happen to everyone.
Yeah.
So that's okay. It's about your attitude, not the situation. I love that. I love traveling. My wife is a very wonderful person. I'll tell you a joke. So my first marriage was a storybook marriage. Unfortunately, Stephen King wrote that book. I have a good one now. This woman is amazing. In her last marriage, there were 2 kids on TV and their mother died in a fire and no one wanted them. She took both of them so they'd have a mom. That's who she is. So she's a really wonderful human. And I can honestly say I'm very lucky to have her in my life. So I enjoy her company and I enjoy doing things with her. So that's a big one. But I like helping people. I can't tell you how. I'll give you just an example. Yeah. Stephen graduates University of Texas Arlington, 16, all A's, economics major. He goes for a master's at 18 in math, graduates at 19, all A's, 1B, now a professor at Yale. Justin's a C student at 11, taught him to learn. He's an English professor at 22. Micah passed the bar at California at 19. And I go on, and I take personal pride. I give them all the credit, but I taught them learning. One guy, Brad finished college, 4-year college in 6 months. How do you do that? Thomas Edison lets you CLEP out, take AP tests for 90% of your degree. Now he's a genius. He did 1 a day for 6 months. That's not common. And got his bachelor's in 6 months, learned Chinese in 3 weeks. He was a missionary. And when he sold his company at 40 for $38 million, he said, "You're the reason I could do these things because you taught me how to learn." So I look at that and I'm like, who's the next person I could do that with? Because it makes me feel I'm doing something useful with my life. And it's not me doing, look at the monkey read fast. It's showing other people the skill and changing their life. And I mean, you can't put a a dollar amount on that. That's an amazing feeling to see these people and the experiences they have and the changes they had because of what you taught them. And that's what motivates me.
Love that, Howard. That is very inspiring. What is one of your favorite books?
Depends on the niche.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, because I read business books,
Sure.
I read metaphysics books, I play guitar, I read books on music. But I'll tell you some of my Unlimited Selling Power. That's a very good book for any of the entrepreneurs out there. Dan Kennedy, who's one of my friends, we used to both lecture together with Zig Ziglar, and he said that was one of the best books he had read. And it's basically using neurolinguistic programming in your marketing strategies. It's very powerful. Anyone who's really successful, like I sold a program for Nightingale Conan, it made 65 million. But I understood how to communicate with people, and that made the difference. It's not just about talking, it's about using the right words in the right way to motivate people and then change their life, because they were afraid it wouldn't work, and you showed them that it would work, and they did it, and then it worked. So it's like your mom say, eat your spinach. You don't want to eat your spinach, but are you going to is it going to help you or hurt you to eat your spinach?
Right.
It's probably going to be a good thing when you're a kid. So sometimes we need to teach people how to eat their spinach because it's going to make them stronger and healthier. And that's where the NLP comes in. What you people are doing, they need it, but they don't know they need it. And they don't want you to tell them they need it, but they do. So your job is telling them in a way where you can actually get them to make the right choice to use your products and services without pressuring them and pushing them, so that they feel comfortable. And then you made a difference in their life doing whatever it is you do. So that's that book. That's Unlimited Selling Power by Donald Moy. Another good business book, Jeffrey Lant, who's written many very good books, he's got one on Unabashed Self-Promoter's Guide, how to get on shows, which I'm on one now. I've been on 3,000 shows. And one of the best ways to promote who you are is talk to people.
What?
Go on a show, tell them who you are and what you do. And he gives you lots of good information on how do you find someone who wants to talk to you, and what do you say when they decided to talk to you, so they don't regret it. And I would say, oh, damn, why did I have him on my show? And on metaphysics, probably the best book I ever read. Franz Bardone wrote a number of very, very good books on metaphysics that I enjoyed, and Alice Bailey's written a number of good books. One of the best books was by P.D. Ouspensky, and the book was The Fourth Way, and it's about the four paths to a higher consciousness. You could overdo it physically, like the people who lay on a bed of nails and they don't get hurt. You could do it emotionally, like the path of Christianity, through love. You could do it through the mind, like a yogi, through contemplation, or you could learn how to do all that at one time. And he explains the process for understanding the conflicts we have. One party says eat, and one party says diet. So when you diet, all you're thinking about is, I'm hungry, I want to eat.
Yeah.
And when you eat, you think, why did I do that? I'm on a diet. So there's all these little selves in your head that are arguing with one another over whatever it is you're doing. You didn't do this. And how do you reconcile that conflict and find the self inside you to listen to that actually has your best interests at heart and will take you where you need to go in life? That's Ouspensky's book. So I enjoy all kinds of reading, and it's eclectic. And I think every entrepreneur should be eclectic. If all you read is what you're good at, you're missing out on all the other things that might make you better at what you do.
Yes.
And you suddenly realize that what they're doing in a totally unrelated discipline could make you a lot of money, because no one in your discipline thought of doing that. And you're the first one. And you're the one that pulls it into your niche from somewhere else. But if you don't look anywhere but where you've been looking, you'll never find these opportunities. So it's very, very important not to stay like a doctor just reads medical books. Big mistake. Medicine's a business. Doctors have to have patience. If you're not learning how to bring in patients, you're not going to have a practice. So even in something like medicine, you have to learn marketing. You have to learn communication. There's things that they're not teaching in medical school. So that's a good example of where a skill that would have nothing to do with your field per se is essential for the field to work.
Love it. Oh, another inspiration check mark. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so a bit of a non sequitur. What's your favorite song to play on your guitar?
I have once, Don't Think Twice, It's All Right, because I know the chords by heart. and I can do all the chord changes really well.
Yeah.
And so if anyone says, I got to be honest, people pay me not to play. But I was a professional singer when I was 9. I sang in Temple. And in 1960, I was getting $3,000 for 10 hours of singing.
What?
Which, to put it in a perspective, my dad worked 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, and made $10,000, which was good income at that time. And I made $3,000 in 10 hours. But I didn't do it for the money. I like to be on stage and sing. So it was like I sang in Atlantic City, I sang in hotels, and I always was on stage from the time I was a little kid because I sang. And so public speaking, if they pay you to talk, yeah. And if anyone's interested, they can email Mr. Reader, MrReader at MSN. And I do live trainings all over the world for companies. A lot of them now do it on Zoom. There's no travel expense, and it's very affordable.
Yeah. Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah, I love doing it. It's fun.
What do you miss about New York?
The food.
Yeah, okay.
I'm in Central Florida. They call it pizza. It's not pizza. It's ketchup on a piece of bread with some sprinkled on cheese. Brooklyn pizza is like the best pizza. The place where I live, they made their own cheese. They didn't just they made the sauce, they made the cheese, and they made the pizza from their own cheese. I mean, you don't get that in Central Florida.
No.
So food, I miss the culture, the museums, the Broadway, the shows, the things like that I really like. But I'm happy where I am because I live near the forest, the air's clean.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's a very safe environment. New York, you got to watch. If you think someone's out to get you, you're not being paranoid. They are. So that's just common sense.
Yeah.
So if there's nobody around where you are, there's a reason. You shouldn't be there.
Yeah, fair enough. We were in Central Park once, and we saw Big Bird smoking a cigarette on a park bench. It was the most New York thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wow! Oh no, I never saw that.
We were just looking at each other. We were just like,
bird.
That is a super tough bird. That's like New York bird. Oh my god! What is one thing that you wish people knew? Like just in general.
The information doubles every 6 months, and the things you need to know are growing. There's more printed in a week than all human history through the year 1800. The average person reads about 200 words a minute. They read like they're in elementary school. They never really worked on improving your reading skill. As you went higher, they gave you books to read, but they didn't teach you how to do it better. Yeah. They basically finished that in elementary school. And so they never really taught you how to stay on top of the data that you need to know to do your job successfully. So I've read these books. Now imagine you're an entrepreneur or a business person. Now I had an 84-year-old read 3 books in 3 hours the day after I taught her in 4 hours. So you're an entrepreneur. I'm going to say if an 84-year-old can read a book in an hour, so can you. So you learn one new business skill every day for a year. Where would your business be in a year, in 10 years, in 20 years?
Oh my God.
That's it. It's all about what's in your head. The number one asset every entrepreneur has is their ability to make choices and decisions. What you know is what you're doing. If you build the knowledge that's in your brain and absorb the wisdom of others who've done what you do better and successfully, and you follow the models they've created, imagine what would happen to your life and your business as a result. Nobody wants to read. Reading is a screwdriver, it's a tool. It's not the reading, it's the knowledge that you gain from the reading that is the goal. It isn't the hammer or the nail, it's the thing you build with them that you're interested in. And what you're building is a foundation of wisdom to accomplish things you couldn't do before because you're learning skills you never really knew even existed. And with AI, people who aren't learning quickly are going to be buried.
Yeah.
Because you can't count on what you're doing today, tomorrow. Ask Blockbuster how their business model is working right now, or Sears, or J.C. Penney. And here's the irony. Bezos basically made the Pennies and Sears catalog and put it online. That's all Amazon is. It's an online catalog. They had the idea in the 1800s. They stopped publishing it. All they had to do was move their catalog online. They had the products. They had the marketing, the product, everything needed, but they never thought of it. Bezos saw the opportunity. He took somebody else's idea and remodeled it for the 21st century. He became the second richest person in the world. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so you've got to break free from this is working right now. I'm comfortable. That's today, not tomorrow. Things are changing quicker and quicker. The people who are going to stay ahead are the ones who learn and understand or on the cutting edge of what's going on. And everyone else is like, what happened? I was making so much money in my Blockbuster business and now it's buried. This is where everyone's businesses will be in 10 years if they're not moving forward. That's why they need to learn fast.
Howard, that's outstanding. I was so I'm gonna do. I've got a couple more questions left, but so I just wrote this book called "BrandJitsu: Move Your Brand from
I
Man
like
to Memorable."
that. I like that. That's a good name.
Thanks. I'm gonna send you a copy, but it's 270 pages, and I was doing the math in my head, which I'm not super great at, but if I and I'm not going to be at your level clearly, but I could probably read this book in, if I'm at your level, 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes.
5. I did that for Russell Brunson. I read his new book, what he had just written, in his office in 5 minutes on a live Facebook feed.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
told him and then described what the book did.
Yeah.
Accurately.
So in my head, so I'm thinking about this as I'm talking to you and I'm like learning from you because this is already a learning process for me. And if I could, and let's just say extrapolate out that I can do this in half an hour, like forget 5 minutes, let's just say a half an hour. If I could read one business book a day in a half an hour, what a game changer. That reminds me of, it was Michael Jordan. He used to go and practice at 3 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock. And then, so he ended up getting another season, a whole nother season in his training than any of his teammates. Anecdotally, that's the story. That's what you just told me can happen. That's huge. I didn't know going into this conversation that I was going to leave this changed.
That's it. And the trick is you don't need to know everything in the book. You need to know all the ideas in the book.
Yes.
So every time you gave an idea, you explained it and you had examples and stories, which means I could read that book in 5 minutes and learn 20 ideas and what to do with them in basically 5 or 6 minutes, and I'm off to the races, and I'm going to do what you taught me. I don't need the stories, and I don't need the explanations. These are the 20 things I need to know and do. Done. Next book.
My God. Okay. Well, I feel like you've already answered this question, but maybe there's a different way to phrase it now that I'm going to give it to you this way. There's people in the world, and I could be one of them. I could be a rebel in waiting.
You are.
Thinking about it, right?
You are one of them.
Yeah. Because, like I'm in the middle of doing a whole bunch of things, but, let's just extrapolate outwards. It's not me, it's somebody else. And these rebels in waiting are people who are in the middle of something or about to do something, stepped off the ledge, if you will. What advice do you have for them to help them get to where they're going? And I do feel that you've answered this already, but maybe we can just put a button on it.
Wherever you're going, someone's been there already. And the chances are they've written books on how they got there. So if you read 5 or 6 books by people who did exactly what you dream of doing and did it well and succeeded, and you look at what did they all do the same? What did most of them do the same? You just got a business plan. They're telling you this is what worked and this is what didn't work. And you're taking advice from the people doing exactly what you dream of doing. You don't have to figure out what to do. It's been done already. What you have to do is see what was done and how it worked, and then start testing those different principles in your business. It's a test. See the ones that work for you and embrace them and double down on those. And the ones that don't, go to the next book and find some more. And it's constant. Things evolve. Things are changing. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect to get the same results because everything around you is changing. And so you're constantly looking for that leader in your industry who's giving you the path and showing you what they did. And you're following at the front and everyone else is watching you and say, how'd you get there? Because you learned stuff. You didn't try to make a wheel out of nothing. It was done already. You found how it was done and you used it.
Love it. Howard, this has been extraordinary. Please tell me your websites again and where people can sign up for this 4-hour course, because I'm going to do it.
It's howiereading.live. Okay. howiereading.live. It's me. It's not a video. And I'll answer your questions when we're done. So I make sure you actually learn it. And if you didn't learn it, I'll give you your money back. But I'll make sure you learn it because 1, I don't want to give you your money back. And 2, I want you to learn it so you get the benefit that you were looking for. And if you want to email me, it's Mr. Reader, MRR, all one word, MRREADER at MSN.com. If you need a training or tutoring, or you have some questions on what I discussed, and maybe you want to set up a consultation to see if I might be able to help you personally, I'm happy to do that. And then make a decision from that based on facts and not just on hearing me for a few minutes.
Love it. Howard Berg, this has been my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the show.
I appreciate you having me. It's been fun.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Hey, if you're an artist, scientist, entrepreneur, or business owner who wants a smooth and proven method to find, shape, and share your story with the world, head on over to BrandJitsu.com and order a copy of my book, BrandJitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable. I've been your host, Michael Dargy, and this has been the RebelRebel podcast. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs all over the world. And hey, if you're a rebel or you know a rebel, head on over to the RebelRebelPodcast.com and fill out the guest request form. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.